Hey guys, this is SpockJoe, and today I'm going to be talking about tricks and tips of how to use sniper rifles better in Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. If you like this video, please hit that like button, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. And with no further ado, let's get started. Alright, so the first tip that I have for you guys is pick your battle space. And what I mean by that is you want to make sure that whatever engagement you're in, you have the advantage. And so how do you pick a battle space? Well, first off, what you need to understand is sniper rifles excel at longer ranges. They don't perform very well as a run and gun weapon. You're not going to be using a sniper rifle and hip firing it and it be really effective. So what you want to do when you're picking your battle space, you want to play towards the strengths of your weapon. And so first off, I would say you want to make sure that you're keeping your enemies at distance. What I mean by that is you want to know the maps well enough so that you know where all the pinch points are. You want to know where the enemy flow is. You want to know where all the longer lines of sight are so that you can use the map to your advantage and you can control that space versus the enemies controlling that space or the map controlling your battle situations. And lastly, I want to say you want to position yourself around cover. You want to use cover in this game to help you out so that you're dying less. A lot of times when I'm using sniper rifles, I'll get around pillars or different types of head glitches, and I'll use that to my advantage because when the enemy starts shooting at me, I can duck behind that cover and they miss me and pop myself out again, try to take a shot and then duck behind it again. In the end, cover is going to save your life over and over, especially when you're playing as a sniper in Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. The second tip that I have for you guys is learn how to drag scope. Many people refer to drag scoping as quick scoping, but quick scoping in and of itself is simply drag scoping. And basically how that works is whenever you aim down sight, the ADS of the gun starts to help you lock onto players a little bit easier. So when you're sweeping, you're aiming across an enemy, the ADS kicks in and it slows down the weapon and it allows you to lock onto that person a little bit easier. Now, when it comes to sniper rifles, you aim down sight, the ADS kicks in, and when you sweep or drag towards that person, once it hits that enemy player, it's going to slow your weapon down, and that's the point where you pull the trigger and fire. The third tip that I have is run with a good secondary weapon. You guys know sniper rifles shine at longer distances. They're not meant to be a run and gun type of weapon. You need to think of yourself as more of a support player. So with that said, whenever you're picking a secondary weapon, you want to make sure that you're picking a weapon that you're comfortable with. You want to pick a weapon that you know that you can win gunfights with, because a lot of times you're going to use your sniper rifle and you're going to use your secondary just as much. Now, when you're running with your secondary, you want to make sure that you put on dexterity. And the reason why I say that is because dexterity allows you to swap from your sniper rifle to your other weapon, your secondary weapon, a lot faster. If you don't have it on, it's just going to make you slower and sluggish from switching from one weapon to the other, and it's going to play as a disadvantage, especially if you're sniping, you miss that first shot and you're trying to pull out your secondary, you're going to have a tactical disadvantage if you don't have dexterity on. The last thing I want to say about this is you want to make sure whenever you're going from point A to point B, you're running around the map, in between those long distance engagements and you using your sniper rifle, you want to run with your secondary weapon because it's going to help you, especially when you're coming around corners, coming into close quarters situations where the sniper rifle isn't going to work very well, that you have your secondary weapon already up and ready to come around corners and engage people in those closer quarters. The last tip that I have is simply this: keep calm. Now, a lot of times it's frustrating whenever you get wrecked over and over and over and people are flanking in on you. The biggest thing is to think about this. you need to probably just step back, reevaluate what's happening, try to maybe reposition yourself, or maybe you need to pick a totally different battle space altogether. This is going to help you to win more gunfights. It's going to help you to stay more calm in your composure so that you can hit those shots. And in the end, that's what you want to do as a sniper. You want to be calm, collective. You want to not be tense and always missing those shots just because you're doing knee-jerk reactions because you're just so stressed at the situation. If you like this video, please hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. And we'll see you next time.